people of Muregi and Ketso communities will soon heave a sigh of relief as their plight of more than 2 decades will finally be attended to by the Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, HYPADEC, in collaboration with Niger State. Ketso and Muregi communities lie on the banks of rivers Niger and Kaduna, located in Kede district of Makwa local government area of Niger State.
Go around this thing so that you see the...
Ravaged by persistent economic and environmental dislocation for more than 2 decades due to annual flooding, displacing the people from their ancestral homes with attendant destruction of lives and properties. In September 2018, the communities experienced their worst hit from the disaster. In line with the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that has mandated the Chief Executive of the Federal Republic as well as the states the duty of protecting lives and property in their respective jurisdiction. By the then Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, visited the affected areas to have an aerial view and assessment of the devastation. The governor, who flew together with his then Chief of Staff, Honorable Alamin Mikael Mutusai, who is now the council member representing Niger State in HYPADEC Governing Council, had this to say. Honorable Alamin also recalls the incidents vividly.
Annual flooding on that river Kaduna axis when maybe Japa and Shiro dams waters are expelled. But in 2018, while I was Chief of Staff of the Governor of Niger State, we took a helicopter ride to overlook the devastation that happened because of the flooding. And we went all over KD community. I remember that when we took that helicopter ride, we finally came down in Muregi, because the whole communities were submerged terribly inside underwater. And because of the devastation and the commitment of Abubakar Sani Bello, we quickly approached the federal government for intervention. I remember that when 1999 Korea came to power, he had also made commitments that those devastation were going to be given succor by doing rehabilitation housing for the villagers. Like the Itsumi Pebago said on the day of the foundation day, that didn't come to fruition. When even Governor Muazu Babangida came, he also came with that intention, but also that didn't come to fruition. So by Allah's will and good grace, HYPADEC as a commission took off 2 years ago, and by Allah's will we will be the people to fulfill those aspirations of the people of both Ketso and Muregi and some other communities in Kogi, Kwara, and even Benue.
In the turn of events, the hyperdeck was birthed in 2020 and passionate about achieving its mandate of cushioning the ecological, socio-economic, and psychological effect of the dams on the communities. It carried out an assessment of the situation which revealed that the communities suffered a great deal of imbalance and needed urgent attention. Managing Director of the Commission, Abubakar Sadiq Yalwa, sympathized with the people and promised to expedite action towards creating a facilitating environment by enabling their movement to the new or relocation sites previously provided by the federal government up the River Niger Basin.
They went to neighboring communities and some had to move to town to stay with their friends and relations, which could be quite inconveniencing. And that necessitated the reason why we had to go and flag off a resettlement plan for the community so that they can return back to and have a home of their own. Because it's actually not easy squatting with people here and there. It's quite inconveniencing. But with the resettlement scheme on ground now, building of housing units for the community, they will be able to have a settlement of their own where they can call a home again, having been displaced by the flood. Well, the new settlement is actually an improvement because the site for the resettlement is on a higher plane. The topography is quite high, and it's not a place that flood can easily access in the event of flood.
And most recently, the Commission fulfilled its promise. This was when, on March 23rd, 2023, Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, supported by the Managing Director Hyperdeck, performed the official groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of Hyperdeck Resettlement Housing Scheme for victims of flooding in Muregi and Ketso communities in Niger State. In his remarks at the event, the MD explained that the housing scheme is meant to cover all the 6 states under the Commission. However, these 2 communities have been prioritized due to the heightened concern and its worrisome state. He further gave a description of the housing units.
The project is actually an ambitious housing program meant to cover all the 6 hyperdeck states. Niger State, we are starting with Niger State with 160 2-bedroom housing units this year to be shared for Muregi and Ketso. Muregi is going to have 120 units, while Ketso will have 40 units, inshallah. We are hoping that this project will commence this month, and we hope, inshallah, it will be commissioned officially, God willing. Each of the housing unit has a 2-bedroom, 1 sitting room, 1 toilet, 1 kitchen, and 1 veranda. Each housing unit shall occupy half of the plot size allocated to it, while the remaining half shall be left for the future expansions. Because we know the settlers here, most of them have no space, so they will want more space to add more wives, I'm sure about that. Distinguished audience, each of the housing units is expected to be occupied only by persons that have been facing intermittent displacement as a result of floods and other ecological disasters. And the Niger State government and the traditional institutions will decide who should be entitled for this project.
The MD further assured that only efficient and sustainable building materials will be used for the construction of the housing scheme under the strict supervision of the Directorate of Engineering and Technical Services and the technical staff of the Niger State SSG office.
The concept of this project started with the Niger State government, and they have scheduled some officers who are called project coordinators. They are all engineers. One is in charge of Muregi and one is in charge of Ketso. So, as a matter of fact, they have all the information concerning these locations. So, and they work hand in hand with the Secretary to the Niger State government. And when HAPADEC came in with this intervention, so these same coordinators were incorporated into the activities of this project execution. So therefore, we are going to collaborate with them. In fact, some of them just brought the layout of that Muregi and the Ketso layout yesterday to me so that we can see how the layout looks like and where we are going to plot out the buildings we are going to start with in the first instance, which is 140 for Muregi, 120 for Muregi, while 40 for Ketso.
The two keywords here are sustainability and efficiency. Sustainability in the sense that it should have the ability to be maintained at a certain level or rate. Efficiency is the quality of the job well done without wastage of time and resources. And then the criteria for selection of materials to be used in this project. As we all know, in our directorate, we know buildings has two components, which is the substructure and the superstructure. The substructure is anything beneath the foundation of a building to the floor level. And at the substructure level, we intend to make use of sandwich blocks, which is solid and durable for a building. And then for the harsh weather condition that is there, we believe it's going to be strong enough for we to be able to achieve what we intend to put there for the people to make use of. The specification done for this flooding intervention will be adopted in other HAPADEC member states to ensure standard and strict compliance, as the directorate is going to make sure it follows each and every step of the project by supervision.
While performing the groundbreaking for the housing scheme, Governor Bello commended the MD, board and management of HAPADEC for the initiative. He acknowledged that efforts like this will ensure the safety of lives and property in the communities. He recalled the hurdles of the devastation.
I hope, even though it's news to me, but the MD in his speech also mentioned the access road. We also are working on access road to Muregi. So I hope we shall collaborate with HAPADEC once more to provide proper access road to Muregi and Ketso communities to ease movement of goods, services between I am also happy to announce that the electrification program to Muregi is ongoing. As a matter of fact, I think it is completed, and hopefully it should be powered in the next few days or weeks. I will ensure that these communities get electricity so that they settle down fully when they start movement. I would like to draw the attention of members of the community to please make sure they take care of the transformers, the cables, because of vandalization. Try to own these installations once they are installed, because it becomes the property of the community and the community are the greatest beneficiaries of this investment. So it is my prayer, His Royal Highness the 8th Nupi, through the district heads, village heads, and ward heads, will ensure that the message is passed to various committees so that they take charge of various installations.
The Esinupe, His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Yahya Abubakar, who witnessed similar events in the past without success, applauded the Commission and its stakeholders for boldly taking the project upon themselves.
Your Excellency, we thank Allah the Almighty for giving us life and time to come here once again and witness another commitment and progress in the attempt of the authorities, both federal, state, and local government authorities, to ensure the resettlement of displaced communities we have along the banks of River Niger. As already pointed out earlier, this attempt now is the third time we are coming here, especially myself physically. I was here during the late Governor Kuri. He came here to personally commission this project. Thereafter, the Governor of the Association of Ali Babangida was also here. We came here, and then we are now physically here for the same project. We pray want Allah to let this materialize in our time. We thank all the authorities concerned, and most especially the Hyperdic, that now taking it upon itself to ensure that this project is completed. And I want to assure you, inshallah, we support you in prayers, we support you in mobilizing our people to ensure that this project is completed within the stipulated time. However, I also want to advise the Commission to simultaneously establish a quick committee that will ensure the movement of everybody that is concerned, that will move immediately after a building is completed, rather than waiting till when all are completed and then we want people to move. I'm sure there should be a special committee set up to identify the priorities, the individuals that are actually required or needed to be moved. So we complete certain numbers of accommodation, we move them immediately. Then thereafter, the ceremonial commission will be done. Thereafter, inshallah.
Earlier, during the welcome address, the chairman, Makwa Local Government, Comrade Abdullah Jibrim Muregi, described the Hyperdeck Housing Scheme as a milestone achievement, bringing into fruition the desire of the people of these communities. He recounted the past efforts of the federal government.
The foundation laying ceremony of New Muregi and Ketso was firstly done in 2002 by the then Vice President Atiku Abubakar as a response by the federal government of Nigeria to the devastation and loss of lives, and had become a recurring phenomenon within the communities. Since then, the affected persons have been expectant for the new community to be built up with all the complementary infrastructure, social amenities, and services so that they can relocate.
But what is the way forward for these communities? As intimated by the state governor, the electrification process for the new Muregi and Ketso communities have been completed, and the state government seeks collaboration with Hyperdeck to provide access roads and facilitate movement of goods and services between the communities. Most importantly, the rain is lurking around, but unlike the previous years of anguish and despair, the people of Ketso and Muregi will consider perhaps for the first time the rains as a source of blessing and not the source of calamity or devastation, because Hyperdeck has provided them a residential shelter that is set to be completed